Good morning, friends. It is a beautiful morning over here. This is one of my favorite times of the day this time of year because it's so nice and cool and crisp in the morning, and the sunlight's just really pretty, and there's so much hope for what can get done in the day. As the day goes, it kind of fades a little bit. When toddlers wake up, it gets a little bit more complicated, but the morning time is great. You want to say hello? Mr. Caspian has been hanging out with us next to the house. He's been eating all the things and knocking over the rain barrel, but it's been fun having him close to the house where we can just kind of reach through the bars and pet him, and Ellie can hang out with him, but not have to worry about him, like hurting her, because I don't let my kids get in the pasture when there's a ram, because rams can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. You can be a little bit crazy. Been working hard on the garden, trying to finish getting it mulched. I got another load of cardboard. It's probably going to take at least 3 or 4, maybe more loads of cardboard to get this all done. But I've been picking up appliance boxes from a local heating and cooling company. And that has been so helpful because I can put down these giant boxes and get a lot covered in a shorter amount of time than if I use like the little boxes. But things are coming along really well out here, getting stuff planted. I still have so much to do. We've got all our little seedlings out here. I've still got a lot of stuff that needs to get planted, even just started that hasn't been started yet, and a bunch of stuff that needs to get transplanted, as you can see. So my to-do list is 10 miles long at this point. You want to go see how the babies are doing? They're so cute. Good morning, Miss Margot. All right, back it up, lady. Let's go get some breakfast. Back it up, back it up. There's our little babies. I still haven't decided on names yet. I'm thinking about calling the white one Ash or Ashlyn. And so I might not be your typical farmer girl, but I also like to play video games. And so one of the games I'm playing, there's 2 sisters that are like Moonlight and Darkness. And so I was thinking about naming one Char and the other Saloon. So, but I'm not going to be keeping them, so I don't want to give them names that somebody else wouldn't love. You're doing a good job, Mama. They're so cute. I haven't been getting like a whole ton of milk. The most I've gotten in one milking is like half a pint, a little bit less than half a pint. I don't know if it's because she is mixed with Tunis. She's not all East Frisian. Or we'll see what happens when we start separating the lambs. So I'm actually not going to milk her this morning. There really hasn't been much there, and it's not the end of the world. As long as she's not having like a lot of pressure in her udder, it's okay for me to skip one here and there. But I did cut back her alfalfa a little bit because I think it was making her milk taste a little bit strong. Usually if you're having like a taste issue with sheep's milk, it's a cleanliness issue. But I think part of it was the alfalfa can make the milk taste a little bit barny. So we cut that back and we'll see if that makes a difference. All right, you ready? She's gonna come in like a shot. There she goes. All right, sugar, yours is right here, baby. Here you go, girly. So sheep can breed at 4 months old. So I know it probably seems like awful to start weaning so young, but in the grand scheme of development, they grow pretty fast. We are going to start them on creep feed today. So I have this part here that I can just take that board out and they should be able to fit in there. But then the adult sheep cannot fit in there. So the lambs can go in there and get food, free choice as much as they want, and then the older ones will not go in there and gorge themselves and get bloat. But we need to start developing their rumen so that they can be able to eat grass and hay and grain and be able to digest it well. Once the transition is complete, we'll get all the milk for ourselves. Sheep tend to stay in milk about 10 months or so, and then they get rebred. But Caspian here is my solar powered lawnmower. I've just been moving him around the yard in his electric fencing with his new little house that we put wheels on, and he has been mowing for me. Look, buddy. But he still does get some grain because he's a little skinny. But his condition should improve now that he's not in with the girls. Because I was reading that boys can lose their body fat because they're too busy chasing the girls around. But he's probably only got one more day in this section, and then he's gonna get moved to the next section. The area in the back looks real good. I'm excited to get him in there. We have so much clover. There's a lot of shade from the trees. So I wanted to do this front section while it's still early and not too hot, and then have the back section for him as it gets hotter in the summer, and just let it grow. I've been time-lapsing the mulching so that when it's all done, we can watch it and be very satisfied seeing it all happen very quickly and be completely redone. Chickens are doing awesome. Where's our little ones? I've been letting the young ones free range. I think they're either 9 or 10 weeks now. And I separated out the ones that look like cockerels from the ones that look like pullets. So I have the cockerels in a separate pen, but I don't know if you can see them. They're just running through the grass over here. I need to get in here and mow this. Oh, look, we have honeysuckle. That's awesome. Look what happens when you don't mow. You find things. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. It smells so good. Did you ever eat these when you were little? We used to go to the bus stop and we used to eat these, like not eat the actual flower, but we would like pull. I'll show you. If you've never eaten honeysuckle before, we would get one that was maybe a little older, like one of these yellowy ones. And then you pinch the bottom and you pull the string, and out comes the nectar. Can you see that? There's like a little bit of nectar that comes out, and that's what you eat. It's really good. But we used to sit at the bus stop and just eat honeysuckles when we were kids. And I honestly didn't realize I had honeysuckle at my old house that I think I had planted it there on purpose. But I didn't realize it was a vine. I thought it was like a bush, but it's just a vine that takes over other bushes and kind of, you know, covers it. But that's awesome. You guys doing okay? They have integrated so well in with the other chickens. We didn't have any issues with any fights or anything like that. They went back to their house the first night, no problems. It's been a very easy, great transition. I'm really happy with the Red Star breed. I think it's so cute because they have like that good personality of the Red Stars, but they have the really cute little muffs on their faces like the Easter eggers do. So those will go up for availability probably this week or next week, and then we'll see. I'm just gonna keep hatching until I have a full hen house. I have one more batch in the incubator that should be hatching in about 4 days. And if those ones don't sell, then I'm just going to keep them, and that will be our last batch of the year. See how lush and green this back part is where it gets the shade? Come August, everything will be brown and crunchy, but, well, we've also kind of been in a drought right now. We haven't had much rain at all. So here's our young misters. I need to get them some more food. Hi guys, good morning. But I separated them out so we wouldn't be having, you know, our rooster fighting with a bunch of young guys, and just to make sure that they are male and the other ones are female. So then it'll be easier just to, you know, see how many I have of each if I separated them out. And then these guys can get moved around and get fresh grass too. The reason for separating them too is just simply because it was getting a little bit too crowded in that small coop, but that they weren't quite ready to be sleeping with the big chickens yet. So that gives them a little bit more time to keep growing and still have like a separate space. But then we don't have 16 chickens in that tiny little chicken coop. Working on getting tomatoes put in. I don't know if you can hear that constant low hum, but that's the cicadas. When I first started hearing it, I thought it was like an ambulance siren or something that was just quite out of reach, but it never went away, and it's been like that for days now. Just this constant hum. I actually saw one the other day, but other than that, I really haven't seen them. I just hear them. There's one. Creepy little buggers. This was the spot I had mulched first months ago. It might have been in the winter. I don't do anything super special when I'm putting my tomatoes in. I don't put anything in the hole. I do usually come back around at some point and top dress with some compost, but I haven't sifted out my compost yet. Whew. I am taking a break over here on the porch out of the sun for a little bit. It's a hot one today. It's like mid-80s. I am splitting up my basils. So I started several seeds in each of my basil pots because my first batch of basils didn't propagate or germinate as well as I was hoping they would. So I'm getting them separated out, and as I'm doing that, I'm also pinching off the tops to encourage them to bush out and make more. I got some cuts on my hands, so I'm going to use some gloves so that I don't get my cuts aggravated with dirt and stuff in there. But I already did all of my holy basil. I have it laid out over here. I already pinched off all the tops. I have them set aside. We're going to make our first pot of basil tea for the year. We haven't had it since last year, so hopefully it will taste as good as I remember it. But so here is a Genovese basil. We have 3 good ones in there and one that's just a stalk. Maybe something ate that one up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate these so that there's only one in each container, and then it will continue to grow. And we're also going to pinch them off. So because I can use this, I'm going to pinch it before I repot it so that it doesn't get all covered with dirt. So where you see these 2 leaves, in this joint, a new growth will come out. It'll make it have 2 shoots, 2 stems coming out of there instead of just the one straight up. So by pinching it and breaking it off, I also broke all my nails off, so my pinching power is not very good right now. By pinching it off, it will now grow out of those 2 little nodules right there. And then we can use this Genovese basil for cooking. This is the type of basil that you would use in your Italian dishes. This little stalk that has no leaves, we're not going to repot that one because it's not going to do anything. It's going to die. So the next step we need to do is we are going to, I like to put my finger in between to hold on to the soil when I put it over. We're going to put it over and gently dump it. Sorry guys, my allergies are so bad right now. I even took Claritin and it's just bad. Maybe I can edit out all the sniffling. But we're just going to very gently break this apart. Well, there goes a bunch of roots. Okay, so here's a piece. Here's one basil. Put some dirt back in the pot. Put our basil right there. And I know it looks really bad right now, having taken all of the leaves off of it, but in about a week, you'll see it will bush out and be really good. Most of these I am going to keep. Some of these are going to go in the farm stand for sale, but most of them will be kept. My goal is to never have to buy oregano, parsley, basil, any of those ever again. Alright, so then we're just going to break off the next piece. That's a good chunk there. Oh look, there's a little baby worm in there. I'm just dumping out pots of stuff that didn't sprout and reusing the potting soil. And it must be good potting soil if the worms like it. Actually, I'll put this chunk in there first and then put the dirt in. So if it's like a small chunk, I'll put the dirt in first and then put the plant in there so that it has some kind of support as I'm filling in the dirt. But if it's a large chunk, I'll put that roots and dirt all in there first and then kind of fill in around it a little bit. And there we go. So we went from this to this, and I know that looks like I just killed it, but I didn't. It'll grow even more and it'll produce more for you doing it like this. And now we have this, oh, it smells so good. We have this delicious basil that we can use for cooking. How are you guys doing with planting? Do you have a lot more to do? Do you feel like you're pretty well done? Do you have some more time you have to wait before you can start planting out? Or is it already starting to get kind of hot where you are? What are you most excited about planting this year? Oh look, another worm. Just baby worms all over. The nice thing about it being a lot drier this spring is that I haven't had as many issues with slugs. I don't know if you remember last year, it rained like non-stop here. If it wasn't raining, it was misting every single day, and I had such a time fighting the slugs for my plants. As soon as my seedlings would come up, the slugs would come and just chew them off. And we did not get hardly any squash at all last year. So I'm hopeful that we'll have a much better squash year this year, since it hasn't been very rainy. It's actually been pretty dry, and we haven't had to battle the slugs as much as we did last year. And now I have almost a whole entire tray of just basil. I'm going to fill in the rest of these spots with some sunflowers and some amaranth. that I want to get started too. And then now you will want to keep this in the shade for a day or two, unless you have a really cloudy day, then it'd be fine to put it right back out. It's better for them to have a little bit of shade as they're reestablishing their roots and getting rested with the shock of getting parts of them plucked off. But they'll come back and they'll be great. They'll be bushy. They'll produce lots more basil for us this year. So we were just kind of all over the place today. I'm going to get back out in the garden in a little bit when the sun goes down and work on some more mulching. I really want to get it done and then just be able to check it off my list and be done with it, because it has been months of mulching this garden. But that's how a garden is done. Just little bits at a time, here and there. When you have time, it doesn't have to be huge amounts of time chunked out. You can do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, plant 2 things this morning, come back and plant 2 more things tonight, and it'll get done eventually. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I really enjoy your company, and I'm glad you're here with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.